This is a tip that's really difficult for leaders to adhere to all the time. And it's not completely black and white, but if I was to give leaders a piece of advice when they're in leadership meetings with other leaders, that is, you really want to avoid ever talking poorly about one of your employees. And what I mean by that is a lot of times you'll bring somebody up in a meeting that maybe you've been struggling with. You're not connecting. Maybe they're showing up late. Maybe they are being disrespectful and you just haven't been able to cross the chasm yet. It's easy for the frustration of the leader to come out in what seems like a safe group. And it probably is a safe group. But they'll kind of rant and talk poorly about that person. And they're sort of dehumanizing that employee out of frustration in front of their colleagues. I understand more than most how difficult it can be to not do that, but there's no benefit to doing it. You can still talk about the struggle that you're having with them. You can still ask for advice of how to overcome it. But when you sort of let your guard down and start to, even if you don't mean to, dehumanize people that work for you in front of other people, it just becomes more of your frustration coming out than it is of anything actual positive. But the other thing too that's really important, the reason why you don't want to do that is you might be having a momentary period of time with this employee where you're struggling, and they could end up fixing it and becoming a fantastic employee later on. But those other leaders who don't work with that employee all day long, all they ever hear about that person is all the negative stuff, because they're hearing it only in the context that you've been explaining it. And so their perception of that employee could be damaged. That person might want to promote someday or go into a different department, and other leaders will have a negative connotation with that human being because the only time they ever heard you talk about them was when you talked about them through immense frustration, and you didn't maybe say things in as diplomatic of a way as you should have. So don't take that ability away from an employee to improve and move on and not have a stigma around them.